amphibians such as frogs and toads are an important part of a wetland ecosystem. Like wetlands themselves, amphibians bridge the transition between aquatic and terrestrial ecosystems. Our amphibians have life cycles with aquatic larval forms and terrestrial adult forms. This means that adequate habitat, both wet and dry, is important to our amphibians. Amphibians are quite sensitive to some types of pollution, in part due to their moist, thin skin, and they don't have scales like fish or snakes to protect them. Plus, they depend a lot on water, especially in the larval stages, and this means that changes in the quality of water may have a large impact on a local amphibian population. On this field trip to the Lake Waco wetland, you will measure environmental and habitat conditions that are important to amphibians and will catch and identify amphibians at different sites in the wetlands and then check them for malformations. Many amphibians are most easily observed when they are breeding in early spring to late summer, but because of our mild fall and winter weather in central Texas, some species can be monitored year-round on daytime field trips. You will travel in small groups with an adult leader, and each group will go to a different location in the wetland. On the way to the site, you may collect any adult frogs or toads you see. When you reach your site, you will first collect a water sample and then proceed to collect adult amphibians, metamorphs, tadpoles, and survey for egg masses. We will also collect environmental data at each site. Groups will then meet up at a central location to rotate through 4 stations. At one station, the students will collect data regarding the weather on that day, and we will discuss seasonal differences. Another station will focus on water quality, and you will measure different factors such as pH, turbidity, and total dissolved solids, and discuss how these may affect amphibian populations. A third station will require you to summarize the habitat data your group collected at your site. Finally, there will be a station for frog identification, and you will check your metamorphs and adult frogs for malformations. At each of the 4 stations, the data you collect will be entered into a group table or chart, and all groups will report their data onto a larger board that will help summarize the total findings for that day. Each group will then present their conclusions about the data to your fellow students and teachers. We are excited to have each of you come out to the wetlands and participate in our frog forest malformation monitoring. Hopefully the data we collect will help the state and national amphibian researchers better understand how our population at the Lake Waco wetlands is doing, and give the city of Waco some better ideas of how they can better manage our water, not just for our amphibians, but for all the animals and plants that call our wetlands home.